shooting at the Chesapeake Wal Mart. In fact, she's working there. It was just her 5th day on the job. Jesse, thank you for being with us tonight. I know this is tough. You were in that break room when the gunman came in. You saw a lot.
Yeah.
Can you walk
Yeah.
us through, Jesse, what you saw and what happened in those moments?
Um, so, before every shift, we have a meeting in the break room right at 10 o'clock. And mostly everybody was in there, and the meeting had just started. And all of a sudden, I looked straight instead of looking off where the other guy was talking. And the other team lead, and he's got his hands like that. And at first, it didn't even look real. It didn't register as real. It. The only thing that made it real was the vibrations hitting your chest and the ringing from the gun going off. And it just kept going and going and going. And I got under the table, and and he left the room and went left down the hallway. And I was looking at my other coworkers around me on the floor and leaned over in the chair. And I didn't want to be loud. I didn't want him to hear me and make him mad, to make him come back, because I don't even know where he went. And I I didn't leave. I stayed. Just I couldn't. I wouldn't want to be left alone, even if they weren't there, or if they were there. I don't even know. I tried really hard not to look, and the sound of the droplets, it replays and replays and replays and replays and replays of how much blood was coming off the different chairs. It was making a rhythm, and it was one of the most disturbing things. I think we'll never let go of that.
I mean, it's
And
understandable. It's so you're under the table then for safety. You talk about feeling the bullets as the shots rang out, feeling that in your chest, hearing the blood from your coworkers, watching them in those moments. As I understand it, the shooter did look at you at one point and basically
at
let you go.
the very end, I was hiding underneath the table, and he told me to come out. And I had my bag, and I put my bag out first as like a please, I don't have anything. You see my hands type thing. And I slid out from out underneath of the table, and I'm shaking, and I probably looked like a chihuahua at that point. And he just had the gun up to my forehead, and this is really hard.
Did he say anything to you in that moment, Jesse?
He told me to go home. And he took the gun away from my forehead, and he was aiming it at the ceiling, and he said, Jesse, go home. I got up real slow, and I tried not to look at everybody on the ground or even look. And I had to touch the door, which was covered. And I walked out the double doors to where you can see the aisles in Walmart. And I made it right to where the egg aisle starts. And I just remember gripping my bag and thinking, if he's gonna shoot me in the back, well, he's gonna have to try really hard, because I'm running, and I booked it. I booked it and I didn't stop until I got to my car. And then I had a meltdown in my car.
I think it would be hard not
And
to in that moment. This is all still so raw, understandably. And I know that in addition to what you saw and what you went through, you also knew at least two of the victims. And one of the
yeah,
reasons that you wanted to talk with me tonight was because you want their families to know something. You have a message for them. What do you want their families to know, Jesse?
for the two girls' families that were sitting in front of me, and I'm not gonna name any names, but I want to let you know I could have ran out that door with everybody else that ran out that door, and I stayed. I stayed so they wouldn't be alone in their last moments because I knew there was no way. As bad as everything was, there was no way. And I stayed, just so they wouldn't be alone.
And they weren't. You were there. There's been a lot of talk about this person who was your manager. I know this was only your 5th day there, and you didn't interact with him a lot. But was there anything that stood out to you, anything in those interactions where you could have imagined a scenario like this?
No, no. I interacted with him one time before this, and it was me bringing up my kid. How much this overnight thing is like really kind of toying with me in some hours. Like when I look at the clock, and I'm like, man, I just want to get home. And and he asked me how old my kid was, and I told him 15 months, and he said a cute age. And we walked our separate ways. Never, never, ever in my life would I ever wish this upon anybody. And it's horrible because it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop replaying when you leave the scene. It doesn't stop hurting as much. It doesn't stop. And it sucks because you really want it to. You just want that little bit of that you had before all this.
You want it to never have happened.
And it's hard.
Jesse, I'm so sorry that this is why we're speaking and that this is what you're going through. And I hope that you are surrounded
It sucks.
with those who can help you in these
I don't know
moments.
how else to help. How else I could have helped. How else I could have changed anything.
Don't blame
I don't know
yourself.
why he let me go. And yes, it bothered me really, really bad. I don't know why he did what he did. Because I could have sworn I was a goner.
Well, Jesse, I'm glad that you were able to make it out safely. I hope that
So sorry,
you staying
everybody.
with your coworkers brings those families some comfort in knowing that they were not alone, that you wanted to make sure that they were not alone in those moments. And Jesse, thank you. I know there's no way this can be easy for you to talk about, but we so appreciate you taking the time. And I wish you strength on this road ahead.